All right, Shalom Yasharala. Before we get started, we're going to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachah Kwadash, and double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders at Great Millstone that teach and rule well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. And we're back with another video, another lesson. The title of this one is called, not that one, Salakia. Yeah, this one, the Hard Life of the Prophets. Okay, the title of this lesson is called The Hard Life of the Prophets. All right, and I was thinking about this at work. You know, the spirit came on me through the spirit. Yahweh Shem Shah came on me. All right, and I was just thinking upon it, like how was the life of the prophets in the Bible? How hard really was it? Really, how hard? Oh, trying to word it right. How really hard it was to be a prophet in the times, of Jeremiah and Isaiah, Ezekiel, even the time of Yahweh Shai, the apostles. All right, Paul. And I looked it up. I even looked it up on Google. I looked up a life of the prophets in the Bible. It says the Bible's prophets were people who spoke for God and delivered messages to their people, which is the Israelites. Their lives were often marked by opposition, persecution, and even death. Some details about the lives of Bible prophets include who they were, what they did, how they were treated. It says prophets were often unpopular and faced opposition, persecution, and even death. For example, Stephen, the first martyr of the New Testament, asked, "Was there ever a prophet of your ancestors did not?" Let me read. Slow down. A little excited. Was there ever a prophet your ancestors did not persecute? See, and the same way today, man. Because I also was thinking about how these Israelites out here, they give you the glitz and the glamour. They show you of all the good that's going on. They give you Israelite marriages and parties and cookouts, but they don't really show you what's the how to when you become an Israelite. How it's not difficult, but what you're gonna expect. You know. Now they went off right here. It says prophets could be young or old, which is true, but they say men or women, and women did not. They were not prophets. You know, and you got people who say, "Oh, there were prophetesses in the Bible who no, they didn't prophesy." You know, they weren't out preaching the word of the Lord with the men. When a woman prophet or a prophetess, it's just a woman who had a husband as a prophet, or they had dreams and they would tell their husband what their dream, or they tell their husband of their dream, and then the husband would break it down to them, or they wrote poems or songs. That was but they didn't preach the word of the Lord. No, they were not prophets. It says priests or judges or regular people with jobs, which is not true. You had to be special. Matter of fact, before we get into it, let's get Jeremiah 1. All right, the Lord ordained you. He knew who you were before you even came out. Jeremiah 1 and 5. Before I formed thee outside of 4, then the word of the Lord Yahweh came unto me, saying, Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. And before thou comest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee, and I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations. See? So the Lord just didn't, nobody was just, a regular person was just not a prophet. You had to be ordained from the beginning. You had to be sanctified of the Lord to be a prophet. See? It says, what they did, prophets shared messages from God with their people, which they include warnings to abandon harmful behaviors or expose the sins of leaders. They consider themselves to be vehicles or vessels through which God spoke. How they were treated, we read that, you know. So they were treated, pretty harsh, man. And I got the other one, hard life of the prophets in the Bible. The life of a prophet in the Bible was difficult and challenging and included many struggles as such. Persecution, loneliness, rejection, fear, because they were in the flesh. They dealt with fear, It says conflict with the Most High. It says prophets could experience conflict with the Most High, such as when the people rebelled against a God. Being direct. Prophets were often direct when correcting others, which could cause embarrassment. Are they willingness to suffer? And that's another thing. You're not gonna. These other groups not gonna tell you about suffering. Prophets were willing to suffer for standing up for the truth or doing what was right. You see, Jeremiah, some examples with Jeremiah and Elijah, which we'll read. Jeremiah concerned with false worship and failure to, they say Yahweh, but the Lord's name is Yahweh. And Elijah, a faithful prophet who was taken up into heaven. You see, so they dealt with persecution. Prophets faced persecution and sometimes even death from powerful rulers. Herod the Great killed James. Right, loneliness. Prophets were often lonely, either because the people of God did not listen to them, or because God sent them to be alone. Rejection. Prophets face rejection, scorn, and humiliation. All right, all types of the prophets went through all types of. It was a hard life, man. All right, in the same way he's gonna be today. Let's read Ecclesiastes real quick. 1:9. Ecclesiastes 1:9. It says, "The thing that hath been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done, and there is no new thing under the sun." See? So it's gonna be the same thing all over again, man. The prophets back then are back today. I think it's another one. Ecclesiastes, yeah, Ecclesiastes 3:15. That which hath been is now. It says, and that which is to be hath already been, and the Most High requireth that. No, not that one. I think yeah, Ecclesiastes 1:9 was it. There's no new thing under the sun, man. That which is now. You see. So the prophets were going through all that back then, and we know through reincarnation, the prophets are back today. They're going to do the same thing today, man. You know. So let's get some examples or some scriptures I got. Let's start with First Kings. All right, 1-19. All right, 1-19. First Kings 19:1. So there's Elijah flees from Jezebel, and I put in NLT as well, so we can read both sides. It says, I started in the KJV, then I might switch to the NLT, but it says, and Ahab told Jezebel all that Elijah had done, and withal how he had slain all the prophets with the sword, the prophets of Baal, right? Then Jezebel sent a messenger unto Elijah, saying, so let the gods do to me, and more also, if I make not thy life as the life of one of them by tomorrow about this time. NLT says, so Jezebel sent this message to Elijah, may the gods strike me and even kill me, if by this time tomorrow I have not killed you, just as you killed them. See? Elijah was afraid and fled for his life. He went to Beersheba, all right, a town in Judah, and he left his servant there. Then he went on alone into the wilderness, traveling all day. He sat down under a solitary broom tree and prayed that he might die. I have had enough, Lord, he said. Take my life, for I am no better than my ancestors who have already died. You see? So, Elijah was begging for his life to be taken, because of the persecution and the suffering that he was going through, man. The prophets, they didn't, the elder Apostle Gabar always says, he says it, here and there, but he says, being a prophet isn't what's it called? It's not a glorious job, man. You know, it's a hard job to be a prophet, because you got to bring out harsh truths, that people don't want to hear. You see, but you got, like I said, Israelites who, take this thing as thing for light. They're not they're not really, they're giving the people a false sense of hope. Israelite marriages and parties and all that stuff. They're not showing them the other side of being an Israelite, right? But let's continue to read, and it says, let me see. I think I might be in on that. I'll read this, verse 9. And he came thither unto a cave, and lodged there, and behold, the word of the Lord came to him, and said unto him, what doest thou here, Elijah? And he said, I have been very jealous for the Lord Yahweh, all right, God of hosts, for the children of Israel have forsaken thy covenant, thrown down thy altars, and slain thy prophets with the sword. See? And I, even I only am left, and they seek my life to take it away. You see? So they wanted to kill Elijah. See that? They want to kill Elijah too. They slain the prophets with the sword. Salakia, man. They were disobedient to the Most High, right? Let's get let's go to Jeremiah. All right, Jeremiah 26, and let's go. Let's go straight to the point. Jeremiah 26:7. It says a plot to murder Jeremiah. Right. It says so the priests and the prophets and all the people heard Jeremiah speaking these words in the house of the Lord. Now it came to pass when Jeremiah had made an end of speaking all that the Lord had commanded him to speak, right? Because the Lord commanded, you know, the prophets to speak exactly what he said, right? Now it came to pass when Jeremiah had made an end of speaking all that the Lord had commanded him to speak unto all the people, that the priests and the prophets and all the people took him, saying, Thou shalt surely die. See? Let's read the NLT version. All right, verse 8, it says, But when Jeremiah had finished his message, saying everything the Lord had told him to say, the priests and the prophets and all the people at the temple mobbed him. Kill him, they shouted. They wanted to kill Jeremiah because he was prophesying against the city, saying that was going to be destroyed if the Israelites kept sinning. It says, What right do you have to prophesy in the Lord's name that this temple will be destroyed like Shiloh? What do you mean saying that Jerusalem will be destroyed and left with no inhabitants? And all the people threatened him as he stood in the front of the temple. When the officials of Judah heard what he was Salakia. When the officials of Judah heard what was happening, they rushed over from the palace and sat down at the new gate of the temple to hold court. The priests and prophets presented their accusations to the officials and the people. This man should die, they said. You have heard, right? You have heard with your own ears what a traitor he is, for he has prophesied against this city. Then Jeremiah spoke to the officials and the people in his own defense, right? Saying, The Lord sent me to prophesy against this temple and his city. It's like in this city, he said, The Lord gave me every word that I have spoken. But if you stop your sinning and begin to obey the Lord your God, he will change his mind about this disaster that he has announced against you. See? So he told him, hey, the Lord told me to say this, man. I'm only bringing out what the Lord told me to do. You see? But what? They took it, they wanted to kill him over that. Right? It says, verse 14, As for me, I am in your hands. Do with me as you think best. But if you kill me, rest assured that you will be killing an innocent man. The responsibility for such a deed will lie on you, on this city, and on every person living in it. For it is absolutely true that the Lord sent me to speak every word you have heard. See, the Lord sent me to speak every word you heard, man. So the Lord, he sends his prophets to speak, harsh truths, judgments. You see, and the people don't like that. Even today, the people don't like to hear it. That's why they hate us. Because they don't want to hear the harsh truth. They don't want to hear the judgments of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. We're sent to the Israelites. We're not sent to everybody. Although we're being preached, the Lord is going to make this gospel to go to all nations. Because why? The Israelites are scattered among these nations, right? Even to tell the nations their judgment, because they're going into slavery. But continuing on, let's read. Let's go to the book of Acts. And it's the New Testament. So this one, the apostles were getting jailed, killed. Even Yahushua, he went through, persecution. Of course, we should all know that, right? So Acts 4, I'm going to start at verse 1, and it says, And as they spake unto the people, the priests and the captain of the temple and the Sadducees came upon them, right? And these were Israelites, being grieved that they taught the people and preached through Yahushua the resurrection from the dead. And they laid hands on them and put them in hold until the next day, for it was now eventide, and they put them in jail. So Peter and John were arrested, right? It says, jump down to verse 6, And Annas the high priest, and Caiaphas, and John, and Alexander, and as many as were of the kindred of the high priest were gathered together at Jerusalem. And when they had set them in the midst, they asked, By what power or by what name have ye done this? Then Peter said with the Holy Spirit, Then Peter, filled with the Holy Spirit, said unto them, Ye rulers of the people and elders of Israel, if we this day be examined of what good deed done to the impotent man, by what means he is made whole, be it known unto you all and to all the people of Israel that by the name of Yahushua Hamashiach of Nazareth, whom ye crucified, right? Whom the Most High raised from the dead, even by him doth this man stand here before you whole. And Peter was among, he was among Yahushua, man. He saw the miracles, he saw all the things that Yahushua had done, you know. So he was firm in his belief. He said, hey, this is, this is it right here. Verse 11, this is the stone which was set at naught of you builders, which has become the head of the corner. Neither is there salvation in any other, for there is none other name under heaven given among men whereby we must be saved. So there's no other name under heaven. There's no Jesus Christ. There's no Yahweh or Yah or none of that. Yahweh, Yahweh Shai. Those are the only two names we should be calling on. Right? Let me see something real quick. Wow. All right, I got to go through verse 13. It says, Now when they saw the boldness of Peter and John and perceived that they were unlearned and ignorant men, they marveled, and they took knowledge of them that they had been with Yahushua, and beholding the man which was healed standing with them, they could say nothing against it, but the point was they were jailed and they were threatened. Verse 17, but that is spread no further among the people, let us straightly threaten them, right, that they speak henceforth to no man in his name. And they called them and commanded them not to speak at all nor teach in the name of Yahushua. And we can actually get another one, Stephen. He was stoned. If you read the whole chapter of Acts 7, Stephen was going through the history of our forefathers, and then he got down here to verse 51. Ye stiff-necked and uncircumcised in heart and ears, ye do always resist the Holy Spirit, as your fathers did, so do ye. Which of the prophets have not your fathers persecuted, and they have slain them, which show before of the coming of the just one, of whom ye have been now the betrayers and murderers, who have received the law by the disposition of angels, and have not kept it. And Stephen was put to death. He was stoned. You see. So hey, they always the prophets, they were persecuted, like we saw about, went into it, on Google. They were persecuted, they were hated, they were rejected by the people. Let's get 2 Timothy, all right, 3 and 10. This is Paul. But thou hast fully known my doctrine, writing to Timothy, but thou hast fully known my doctrine, manner of life, purpose, faith, long suffering, charity, patience, right? Persecutions, afflictions, which came unto me at Antioch, at Iconium, at Lystra, what persecutions I endured, but out of them all the Lord delivered me. Yeah, and all that will live godly in Hamashiach Yahushua shall suffer persecution. You see? So those of you who think you coming in, think being an Israelite, is which is good, you should be happy that you're an Israelite, but that ain't the end. That's not the end all be all. You're gonna suffer. You're gonna go through persecution. You're gonna be hated. All right, people gonna look at you differently. Because they don't have the spirit of the Most High on them. They have the spirit of the world. You see. So let's get this last one. Let's get Ezekiel 33. All right, Ezekiel 33 and 30. And it reads, Also, thou son of man, the children of thy people still are talking against thee by the walls and in the doors of the houses, and speak one to another, every one to his brother, saying, Come, I pray you, and hear what is the word that cometh forth from the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. And they come unto thee as the people cometh, and they sit before thee as my people, and they hear thy words, but they will not do them. For with their mouth they show much love, but their heart goeth after their covetousness, and that's the same way we see today. They may come up, listen for a few minutes, then they just go about, it's like they going about their day, man. You know, they look at this as entertainment. Like, let's see what they talking about. See if we can, just to listen. And lo, thou art unto them as a very lovely song, right? One that have a pleasant voice and can play well on an instrument, for they hear thy words, but they do them not, right? But this is the point. And when this cometh to pass, lo, it will come. Then shall they know that a prophet have been among them, and that's when they're gonna take it seriously, man. That's when they're gonna start, take the men of the Lord. They want to seek the men of the Lord for answers, but it's gonna be too late, you know. So I just want to, bring that out, bring some edification out the hard life of the prophets. We can go, on and we can go to Yahweh Shai, Peter and John, James. You know how John was sent to Island of Patmos. James was killed by Herod. Peter, jailed. All of that, you know. But to show you that when you come into this truth as well, it ain't gonna be pretty. You know, if you're a man of the Lord, you're teaching, preaching the word. It ain't gonna be pretty for you, man. It's gonna be a hard job. All right, and you're gonna have to suffer for. But the reward on the other side is gonna be, it's gonna be beautiful, man. So Lord willing, this is edifying. All right, we'll give all praises. Matter of fact, let's see if we can get a few more. Let's get 2 Corinthians. All right, show another one. 2 Corinthians 11. Let's start at 22. Right, 2 Corinthians 11:22 says, "Are they Hebrews? So am I. Are they Israelites? So am I. Are they the seed of Abraham? So am I. Are they ministers of Yahushua? I speak as a fool, I am more." I put this in NLT. All right. Verse 23, NLT. "Are they servants of Yahushua? Right. I know I sound like a madman, but I have served him far more. I have worked harder, been put in prison more often, been whipped times without number, and faced death again and again. 5 different times, the Israelite leaders gave me 39 lashes. 3 times I was beaten with rods. Once I was stoned. 3 times I was shipwrecked. Once I spent a whole night and a day adrift at sea. I have traveled on many long journeys. I have faced danger from rivers and from robbers. I have faced danger from my own people, the Jews, as well as from the Gentiles. I have faced danger in the cities, in the deserts, and on the seas. I have faced danger from men who claim to be believers but are not. I have worked hard and long, endured many sleepless nights. I have been hungry and thirsty and have gone, so again, have often gone without food. I have shivered in the cold without enough clothing to keep me warm." You see? So, this is what the Apostle Paul went through, man. He went through a whole lot. But what? And like we read in 2 Timothy, the Lord delivered him from these things, man. The Lord was with Paul. See, and we got to believe that the same way today, the Lord gonna be with us in the time of persecution and, that us being, eventually gonna be beheaded. If it comes to that. What does it say in Revelation 2:10? All right. "Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer." So you're gonna suffer when you come into this. When you come into this truth. "Behold, the devil," right? The devil. We know who the devil is. All right, Esau, Edom, man. That "behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison." All right, you got these FEMA camps, concentration camps, detention, all that, right? "That you may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days, maybe a little 10 days, maybe 2 weeks, maybe 7 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life." That's the point. Be faithful unto the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. This goes for myself as well, man. It goes for all of us. We must be faithful to the Lord unto death, even when facing death. Because when that karama comes, that's gonna be the ultimate test. You know, we have to put everything we learn into action. You know, but I just want to bring some edification out. How hard the and it's pretty more. There's a lot more you can get. From Isaiah or Ezekiel, Jeremiah. They always want to kill Jeremiah. You know, but Lord Williams is edifying to you brothers and you sisters out there. All right. We're going to give our praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah Kwadash. And double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders at Great Millstone that teach and rule well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. Lord's way was edified. To the next video, I'm going to say, Shalom.